One of the things that I'm always curious to find out is why the tile? I mean, you've been in Web3 for what, like a year plus now. Why that tile? What's the story behind it?
When I kind of got introduced to Web3, tire robotics was obviously it was one of the top projects. Still is arguably one of the top projects. But I had a lot of friends that I had made within the ecosystem that were a part of the kind of tire ecosystem, and that was one of the first big goals that I set for myself within the Web3 was to own a very good looking tire. And once I was able to do that, I think the first I was able to buy an infant first and then traded that up to a Gen 1. And yeah, I mean, after putting that as my profile picture, I think I've changed it once to a Ute on reveal day, or when we were able to claim them. I changed it to the Ute for I think about 2 hours, just because the Ute kind of looked like me, which was interesting. It is a tire that stands out, easily recognizable, and yeah, it's become a big part of my brand, kind of the face of my brand up until this point. So
As part of your profile, you're a marketing director. So perhaps if you don't mind sharing like a bit of your background on what you did before Web3.
I come from a background in digital marketing. I studied brand communications with a core discipline in copywriting. So all of those kind of go hand in hand, within the kind of marketing niche, within kind of the digital area. Always been a fan of social media, how it works, kind of the algorithms that go in effect, how to best capitalize on those things. And I think that's kind of what I've been able to put into practice here within Web3 is, making the algorithm work for you, ending up on top, and yeah, growing as a result of that.
That speaks a lot, brother, because I mean, you put out amazing threads. The Building in the Bear series are actually one of the best threads that I've read and I've seen. I mean, it's very in detail, very well processed, and as well as well written as well. So hats off to you on that. And now I understand that you have a Substack as well where people could subscribe to your newsletter, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Building in the Bear has been nothing short of a smash hit. It's gone so much better than I ever could have expected. Just a little bit of background on that. So the kind of ideation process that went into it, there were three main factors. I wanted to learn more about project, network with founders, also get exposure into different communities. All three of those have absolutely been ticked off. Been able to, first of all, communicate and connect with a lot of great people. Fourth thing that wasn't in the initial kind of ideation process is shining a light on people, builders, projects that aren't getting the kind of recognition that they deserve and that have still been building throughout this whole time. There's this weird stigma where, if price don't go up, people are like, okay, well, they're not actually doing anything, it's rather quite the opposite. And I think we 38, 37 parts into the Building in the Bear thread series, and I don't think one person or project that has been featured on there has stopped building for months and months, if not over a year. So that's it's been awesome. And with regards to the Substack, trying to switch it up a little bit on there. It is an evergreen platform where the Building in the Bear threads, extended versions of them are being posted there, as well as some personal development, marketing, branding, related content is also being put there. And just an easy way for people to kind of find and index, because I mean, as sure as I know, and I know that things just get lost on Twitter so quickly.
Oh yeah.
So many, the sheer volume of things churning through there every single day. It's easy to get lost in the timeline.
What is it about Solana and this blockchain that you fell in love with?
I mean, from the get-go, the kind of people or community within Solana were a lot more accepting, or not accepting, but inviting. So with ETH, obviously I think I had like 50 followers on Twitter, and I was trying to DM people and trying to do my thing, kind of wiggle around and try and find a footing. I never really found that in ETH, but when I did the exact same thing within the Sol community, especially on kind of crypto Twitter, I found that I was invited in with open arms, kind of welcomed in, and it was at that point where I realized that I wanted to focus more on the connections and friendships and curating genuine connections with people, rather than kind of just going after the quick buck. Obviously ETH is worth quite a lot more than Sol. But the connections that are made here and the connections that I have made, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Talk to me about Icon, man.
The reason that Icon exists is to innovate through connection. That is one of the biggest goals, is to connect people, is to connect projects, and to allow that kind of cross-pollination between the two, and to create those kind of mutually beneficial relationships that allow the space and the people within it to elevate. There's a lot of mystery around Icon right now. I mean, I get probably 10 to 20 DMs a day saying, I've heard a lot about it, but what is going on? Now is not the time that I'm going to say what's going on. But if I can put it this way, to label Icon with one label would be doing it a disservice. There are so many things that are being worked on, so many kind of facets with Icon as the umbrella, so many niches and kind of sub communities or industries within Web3 as a whole. We're trying to touch them all.
If you could change one thing in Web3 right now, what would it be and why?
I think the thing that I've found that is holding the space back, I wouldn't say competition or healthy competition, because that's not it, but is the kind of competitiveness between projects, that fighting, my bags are better than yours. If your project goes up, it means mine go down. That whole kind of sentiment that, if one goes up, one must go down, or if I'm doing well, then you can't do well. I think that is really hindering the space.
What do you think are the characteristics and perhaps like some traits that makes a good Spaces source?
You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to enjoy who you're talking to and what you're talking about. I mean, a message to Spaces hosts: give it a try. Experiment, do different things, but when you kind of lock in and find your niche and what you want to talk about and who you want to talk about, consistency again. I mean, it's echoed everything, but consistency is key. Another characteristic I would say very, very important is confidence, and confidence only comes from practice. I mean, that practice makes perfect, and consistency. But being confident in what you're talking about. A message that I'd like to leave for the listeners and the people, I mean, I say it every day on my GMs, is just try and be better today than you were yesterday. Evaluate where you performed and where you kind of fell short. A big thing that comes in with that is journaling, just keeping a kind of a daily inventory of how your day has been, but just try and get 1% better than you were yesterday. Is that kind of constant and steady improvement, a variety of ways that can be implemented and done. Tips and tricks: consistency, creating genuine connections, very, very important. A lot of the most fruitful doors that have opened within my kind of journey have been through connections that are A, made, and B, nurtured. It's all about making connections, but nurturing them also super, super important. And one more thing is, just nurture the relationships that you have. Like, genuinely connect with people, like get to know them. It's like talking face to face. Hop in the VC, turn your camera on, but allow people to connect with you in a genuine way, and obviously reciprocate that. But be consistent. Find your voice, and then say things with your chest once you found your voice. And also don't try and be everything, because certain things fall between the cracks. Find what you're passionate about and focus on that. Don't try and be kind of a jack of all trades. Like zero in and kind of put the spearhead on things that you're passionate about or things that you're good at, and then excel in that. And all those other things will kind of be raised when you are performing in that particular vertical. And I mean, innovation through connection, baby. I'll say it again. That's the most important thing.